For years he served the same man. Every evening, without fail, he would walk in, sit at the same table, and order the same meal. But the waiter never imagined that one day this routine would change his life forever. When the old man passed away, he left behind something that made Mark question everything he thought he knew about him. And what was inside would leave him speechless. A stranger's kindness, a hidden past, and a life-changing secret waiting to be uncovered. Stay with us, because this story is about to take an unbelievable turn. Mark had been a waiter at the same restaurant for nearly a decade. He had seen countless faces come and go, but none like Mr. Thompson. The elderly man arrived every evening at exactly 6 p.m., always ordering the same meal: grilled salmon with steamed vegetables and a cup of coffee. Over time, their relationship grew from polite exchanges to genuine conversations. Mr. Thompson would share stories from his past, adventures from his youth, memories of his late wife, and his thoughts on life. To Mark, he was more than just a regular customer. He was a friend. Mark noticed things about Mr. Thompson that most wouldn't. The way he lingered a little longer some nights, as if he had nowhere else to be. The way he sometimes stared at old photos in his wallet, lost in thought. The way his hands trembled slightly when he lifted his cup. Mark never asked too many questions. He simply listened, helped when needed, and made sure Mr. Thompson never felt alone. He even started covering his meals whenever he noticed the elderly man hesitating before paying. Then, one evening, Mr. Thompson didn't come. Mark told himself it was just a one-time thing, but as the days passed and his favorite customer never returned, worry crept in. Days turned into weeks. The seat by the window remained empty, and Mark felt an odd sense of loss. Had something happened? Was he okay? He wanted to find out, but he had no way of reaching him. Then, out of nowhere, a man in a suit walked into the restaurant, holding an envelope. He asked for Mark by name. Confused, Mark wiped his hands on his apron and stepped forward. "Yes, that's me," he said. The man handed him the envelope. "It's from Mr. Thompson. Dear Mark, if you're reading this, it means I'm no longer around. But I couldn't leave without saying thank you. For years, you treated me with kindness, not out of obligation, but because that's just who you are. You made an old man's last years a little less lonely, and for that, I am forever grateful." Tucked inside was another piece of paper. At first, Mark thought it was just another note, but when he looked closer, his breath caught in his throat. It was a will. Mr. Thompson had left him something. The lawyer told Mark that Mr. Thompson had no living relatives. In his will, he had chosen to leave Mark something incredible: his home, a small but beautiful house just outside of town, along with a bank account containing a substantial amount of money. Mark couldn't believe it. "Why would he do this?" he asked. The lawyer smiled. "Because, Mark, he saw you as family." Mark had spent years serving others without expecting anything in return, but his kindness hadn't gone unnoticed, because sometimes the smallest gestures of compassion create the biggest ripples. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible real-life stories. See you in the next one.